So we'll probably get started here in just a minute. Before we get started, I put in the chat a link to the acting company information. It'll pull to American Fork, whether you're an American Fork or Draper. The basic information is the same, but this is all accessed on utahcopa.com, but this is a quick access to part of what we'll talk about tonight. So if you guys want to pull it up, we'll get to it in a little bit.
Will you post it one more time? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, it's in the chat. Do you guys see that?
If you join after you've posted it, it doesn't, you lose the link.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I'll send it again. See if that, you guys, and if as people come in, if they don't see it, just tell me and I'll just keep posting it.
That worked perfectly.
Awesome. Thank you. I didn't know that was that, new things every day. But let's go ahead and get started. We are recording this, so and we'll post it under the audition information, the link to the recording later. So if there's something that you need to refer back to, or you have somebody else that's interested and wants to watch it, wasn't able to be here for this Zoom meeting, that it will be available as well for people to access. All right, so I just want to welcome everyone. My name is Megan Christensen. I am the Acting and Group Voice Academy Director for American Fork and Draper. And so a lot of the correspondence that happens for our acting and group voice classes, as well as acting company, is with me. And so you'll probably see my name a lot, or you already have. So I apologize now. But so happy that everyone's here, has joined us, and we can get some information out there for those that are interested in our acting company. I have to say, I love COPA, and I love acting company stuff. I really love acting in my own growth as a performer throughout my whole life. Acting is one of the things that I've always come back to, just the importance of it and the growth that can come from it. And I think what we have here is really special, and what we're trying to kind of develop is really special, and I'm so happy to be a part of it. That being said, Mindy Robbins, I think I saw Mindy on here too. I'll turn the time over to her for a minute. She is one of the owners of COPA, and she's going to introduce some of our company directors.
Hey, thanks, Megan. I'm just going to share my screen if I can, just because you guys can see how awesome this amazing team is with me. So this is on our Utah COPA website. If you ever want to read up bios on your spare time, we'll start with Megan. She sells herself short. She is the Academy Director for acting, and she has been with us doing this a year now. She's been teaching at COPA a couple of years. Megan, 3?
I think this is my 4th year.
4 years. And has been helping guide the acting program this year. The two of us work together quite a bit, weekly actually, and work with the amazing Jake and Julie, who we'll get to as well. And we have Scylla, and we also have Kelly Rollins in Draper. So we're going to talk about all those people. Megan graduated from BYU with a BFA in Music, Dance, Theater, and Theater Arts Education. While at BYU, she performed with YAs, the Young Ambassadors, and she did shows like Children of Eden, Brigadoon, Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, etc. She taught theater at American Fork High School and was adjunct faculty at BYU and then she lived in California for a while, and she loves performing arts and choreography and acting. And she just won, this isn't in here, but she just won the Sorensen Legacy Award, right? Megan, what's it officially called?
Yeah, yeah, the Sorensen, it's through the Sorensen Legacy Foundation for the Arts in the state of Utah.
And it's teacher, what is the official title? Teacher of the Year?
Well, it was for
teacher
elementary education music specialists, and yeah, I don't know. Something like that.
It was something like best teacher of the year in the state. And she is awesome. She teaches in elementary school now and directs choirs there. And she loves coaching private voice and also acting. And she's just a wonderful addition to the acting program. And then if we go up, we've got Jake and Julie here. So Jake has a BA, Bachelor of Arts from Utah Valley University, and an MFA in acting from Northern Illinois. And he specialized in the Meisner technique. He has 20 years of professional theater, and this bio is probably a little bit older, so that's, and count. Film and television acting experience. He recently played Higgs on Warner Brothers Outpost, and he's a cast member of BYU TV's Show Offs. Played King Noah in the Book of Mormon videos. I am watching those right now. I can't wait for those. He has 20 years of stage directing and producing experience. He was a founding member of Warboy Theater Projects and Thrillionaires. If you guys ever went to go see Thrillionaires Improv Musical Theater, 20 years of improv teaching experience. He's actually written a book about improv and is really an expert. And we are so lucky because our kids are in that section now. We'll let Megan talk about that. He was a member of Comedy Sports in Provo for 15 years, and he studied improv with Improv Olympics and the Groundlings. So he is adjunct faculty at Utah Valley University, where he teaches acting for stage and film. So you can see that our kids are in spectacular hands. We are so grateful for Jake. Julie is also an amazing, not only is she a great wife and mother for the Swazo family, but she is a remarkable director for our junior acting company. Jake directs our senior, our COPA acting company, so our high school students this year, and Julie has done our junior high students this year, and they are in remarkable hands as well. She's also performed for over 20 years. She holds a BS degree in theater arts from Utah Valley University, and she was nominated, this is a big deal, for the Irene Ryan Award 4 times and competed at regionals. She concluded her time at UVU with her senior project performance of Much Ado About Nothing's Beatrice. And at UVU, she taught youth theater and directed youth full stage productions for 5 years at the Sierra Youth Theater and Utah Valley University summer youth programs. Her film credits include voteutah.gov commercials and Love, Fall, and Order for the Hallmark Channel. Her favorite role of all time was Mrs. Jennings in Sense and Sensibility at the Orem Hale. And so we are super lucky to have Julie on the team as well. Now, Scylla, I don't know if yours is on here. I'm going to look. Do we have Scylla right now?
She'll be joining. She's finishing teaching, so she'll be joining in a few minutes.
Okay, well, we're super excited. If we have Draper families here, we are excited to introduce Scylla Harrison as the Draper Acting Company Director. And so she has been teaching acting for a number of years at COPA and is just a wonderful addition to the COPA family and team. She made her stage debut at the age of 3 as Russian baby in headscarf, and as a child was featured in numerous toy commercials, in which her specialty was not looking into the camera. She appeared in an assortment of TV variety shows, famous friends like Dick Van Dyke, that's so cool, Ruth Buzzy, and Jerry Lee Lewis. He is a hero. He's so amazing. And a children's TV show where she spoke heavily coached and tortured Spanish. Most of her adult professional life has been making scenery for film, TV, theater, and even haunted houses. She has a degree in theater, taught with BYU Shakespeare Fellowship, and coaches acting privately. Her favorite stage roles are, I'm going to say this wrong, is it Cecily Cardew in The Importance of Being Earnest, and Praise to Buddhist Soloist number 3 in The King and I. And then we have Kelly Rollins teaches our acting classes. And I don't know if she's on here. This is actually our American Fork page. Do we have Kelly on the Zoom?
I'm not sure if Kelly is on the Zoom tonight.
She is a wonderful addition. Our students in Draper, if you're a Draper parent, then you know that your students are in really good hands. She is passionate about acting and has a degree and education and a lot of professional experience. And so we just have this really well-rounded, awesome acting team. I couldn't be happier. It was a great year this year. I got to go, gosh, I always cry at parent meetings. Connor makes fun of me every single time. I'm going to be so tough. Look, that was so fast. Nobody tell. Anyway, I'm just so proud. Like going to the Shakespeare tour with these students. Yes, it was amazing. Working weekly with Megan and figuring out event forms and, structure and curriculum. Yes, like absolutely amazing. Watching the Swazos in action with those one-act plays. Yes, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for the 4 Reels and improv performance. So I'm going to turn it back over to Megan and just tell you that this program is awesome. It's in great hands and we are glad you're here.
Yes, we are glad you're here. So let's see. I'm going to pull this back up again. Mindy, do you want to stop sharing your screen for a minute? And then I'll share something on mine. There we go. Perfect. Thanks. Thank you, Mindy. That was so nice. And Mindy is wonderful to work with. There's just so many great people that work at COPA. We all feel so lucky. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Hold on one second. Sorry.
Probably looking at which to share with like.
I know. And part of it was like all of a sudden my Zoom, like I'm looking at like the schedule and then the Zoom was like gone. And I'm like, where is everything? Everything's like disappearing from my thing. So give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, here we go. This is better now. Okay. So kind of an overview of the sections of Acting Company. If those that have kids in it or those that are contemplating having kids in it, I think sometimes the question is, so what's different about Acting Company versus just doing classes? Like, what is this going to give my child? What are the experiences that are going to come? So let's just talk a little bit really quickly. Throughout the year, we have kind of 3 main sections that the teachers focus on, the directors focus on. Starting in the fall, we start with section 1, which is classical acting. And what's really awesome is when the kids audition in next week, the company teachers will be essentially casting a 1-act Shakespeare play. So it's a condensed version of one of Shakespeare's plays. And in the fall, the kids will be working on it. They'll be putting on a play. They'll be putting on a 1-act. The performances will happen in November, beginning of November. Last year, it was a little bit. So if we have some families in here that have kids currently in Acting Company, one thing that's a little different is rather than do performances in December, we have shifted things around a little, and those performances will actually be beginning of November. They were awesome last year. They did Much Ado About Nothing and King Lear were the 2 that they did. And actually, we should have a big reveal, but Jake and Julie, do you guys want to announce what our 1-acts are going to be this year?
You need a drum roll.
I know.
So I will be doing Hamlet for the older kids.
Awesome. So Senior Acting Company, CAC, will be doing Hamlet. And Julie?
I needed a drum roll to be able to figure out how to unmute myself. But I'm unmuted. And I'm super duper excited because we are doing Midsummer Night's Dream, which all of the kids are super excited about. A lot of them are really familiar with it and has lots of fun characters. So I think it'll be perfect for the age group.
Awesome. And Sylla's not here, but in Draper, they will also be doing Midsummer Night's Dream that she'll be directing. It's one of both of those are awesome. It's going to be really exciting. So the kids will be working on that. They will will be able to put it on in November, and it's really exciting. For the Senior Company, they will also, in working through the 1-act and as they're working on classical pieces, they will also be able to participate in the Shakespeare competition down in Cedar City at the beginning of October, which is really exciting. We went last year for the first time and took the acting kids, and it's just awesome. We go down for several days. The kids have brought stuff. They have prepared stuff, kind of audition stuff. They have a group scene. They have several smaller scenes and some monologues. And then they also get to see shows while they're down there, professional shows from the Shakespeare Festival. It's really fantastic. So that is one thing that for the older kids, those that are in high school, get to participate in the fall.
Hey,
Our
Megan,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, let me interrupt just for 1 second.
Yeah.
We went down, this was really the second-ish year we've ever competed, and the first time was a really long time ago. So I kind of went going, we're going to just go learn and, get this under our belt so that we can, compete well in years to come. And we like knocked it out of the park. Jake and Julie, you may remember better, but we kind of had like a pretty good sweep of a lot of categories. Do you remember specifically how we did?
Yeah, we had we had one student take first in the for her age in the division completely for her, and then we had another one take second.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Alishka took first too, but in the partner scene.
Alishka
And so
yeah, they took first, in their scene. That's right.
Captain and
Yeah.
Miley both also placed, and I think like I think 5 of the 8 students that like competed went home with scholarships, like small little scholarships to come back and use for workshops, or bigger scholarships to use like through the Shakespeare competitions. It was a pretty heavy sweep. I was very proud.
It was amazing.
We had a person who had a school that had been going for a long time and had a pretty big school. She came up to me and she said, "Your school did amazing. You are small but mighty."
I love it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was just, I think it was just a really positive experience for all of them, and a bonding experience. I think when you are able to take things and really work hard, awards aside, the camaraderie and the friendships and stuff too, it was really a lovely time. It was really fun. So that's exciting. That's part of section 1. Our section 2 is really cool. And this is something I really just think is so unique to our program. They work on contemporary monologues and scenes, and there will be a masterclass performance where they're going to do some scene work, but they get to work on some contemporary monologues in section 2, specifically related to what's the difference between stage and film. And then they actually get to film it. They will be able to film their reels. And these are professionally done monologues that they could use if they wanted to, submit them to an agent. However, they might want to use them, auditions. There's a lot of different ways to use those reels, but it's a totally different skill set being able to do it on film versus, on stage. So I love that. And then we, as all of us and the parents and families, get to watch those reels. Right when we're about to, this coming week, we will see all of our acting company reels at their performance on this coming Thursday, which I'll tell you a little bit more about. But it's really, really awesome. And that's kind of our section 2, which will be kind of after 1 acts are done, December into January, February, at beginning of March. And then our section 3, which is pretty amazing too, is the kids get to work on improvisation. And it is such an amazing skill set. I was astounded last year when our acting company kids performed at Comedy Sports for their final performance of the year. And they got on stage and they were doing these improv games. And I just was so blown away by how quick and witty and clever and funny and committed they were as actors and actresses. And we all as teachers are learning. I mean, Jake is like king of improv, and I admire that skill set so much. And it's just such a good one, and being in the moment and connecting as actors and actresses. And so that is kind of a fun thing. Part of that improv section too is they actually bring in a pianist, and they do some improv too, where they are improving songs and stuff like that too. So that's kind of an overview. Does anyone want to add anything to those 3 sections? It's really fun. And, you know, as we're working on our acting company stuff, we are always talking curriculum and what's going to be best for the kids and what are those skill sets that we really want to make sure that they gain from this experience. And so there's always things that's always on our mind is what can we do to be better? I'm a full-time teacher and curriculum and focusing on how kids learn and how best to meet different kids' learning needs is something I'm very passionate about. And I think I hope you know that that's something that we are always talking through and what that we want the best for the kids as we are developing this curriculum.
I was just going to say too, Megan, that some people, a lot of artists will kind of shy away from improv sometimes. And it's so great to watch these kids do it because it's a skill that it's surprising how important it is. Like Jake, with working with our agency, both of us are on the same agency. We both are under TMG, one of the top agencies in Salt Lake City. And like Jake specifically will get called and paid more for being an improvised actor. So it's a skill that you list under all of your things and they actually because they want you to be able to kind of pump up their scripts, right? So these kids learning it and being able to do it, and you'll see the ability for somebody to have the actor training that we do and incorporate that into improv is unmatched. It's so cool to watch these kids. They're so much better at it than, even just some of the whose line is it anyways, where they get up and they don't have the actor training behind it. So it'll be a really fun thing for you to watch. We hope all of you come to the performance.
Yes, we'll talk about that in a minute too. I'll kind of go over that again. Okay, awesome. So I put in the chat the link, and you know what? Let me put it there again in case somebody joined and you don't see it. But here is, I'm sending it now there. This is just a link. You can access all of this on the COPA website under acting company. And it's for it says American Fork in there. There's a Draper version as well. And there might just be a few slight differences in dates. They're all grouped around the same exact time. It just might be, a Friday instead of a Saturday or something. But pull that up if you can. And we're just going to talk through just really quickly these kind of the schedule for the year and kind of how the acting program works. There will be time for questions at the end too. So if you have questions, hold on to them and we can answer anything you might have a question about. So just looking at this spreadsheet here, this kind of lists the first under acting companies. It lists the kind of how we break down the grouping of the senior acting company and the junior acting company. For Draper, part of the unknown is because we're starting a new one there will be how that will be grouped according to auditions and how that all happens. We stick pretty much to this, but it's just it's new there this year. So we just know we'll get that figured out as we see who auditions. But the senior COPA acting company rehearses 4 hours a week. And the junior acting company rehearses 3 hours a week. Tuition is $150 for senior, boys are $99. And for junior acting company, it's $120 a month and $99 for boys. And that says not including fees. And we'll talk through that in a second when we get down to that part. There's options. Both locations for add-on classes. We've had quite a few of our acting company kids this year who they do acting company, but they want to take a group voice. They want to keep working on some voice classes. So we do have some times and availability for that as well. As we get down to, okay, so there's a couple of one-time fees if you're signing up for acting company. There's a registration fee, and then there is like COPA t-shirt, usually for certain performances and stuff, we'll say, okay, come with your, wear your black COPA t-shirt. Those usually run what, Mindy, like $20? I don't know. And we'll send you the information on that.
Yeah, it depends on the company we're going with, but they're under that.
Yeah. And then, okay, so the way the monthly fees work is you have your tuition that was listed above, and then there's also a monthly fee that is separate, that is charged monthly as well. One thing to kind of know is that we run it on if you join an acting company, we run the fees for the tuition and the fees, or the cost for the tuition and fees. It's a monthly cost, and it runs over a 12-month cycle. So it will start in July of this July 2023, and it will run through June of 2024. They found over time that it's just easier, rather than have it be, more this month or more that. They just keep it very consistent. You would just know that if I was in junior acting company and I was a girl, it would be $120 a month plus the $65 a month consistently from this July through next June. And yeah, anything to add on that, Mindy? I think that's about it. Hey, so acting company dates. This gives you that we try to communicate as clearly as possible. I don't know about you, but as a mom, as much information as I can get, and as much ahead of time is so helpful. And it's really important to me. And that is, I really do try to make sure that you have this information. So this gives you a brief overlay of really what the main things that are going to be happening. For acting companies, we have a summer camp. Some of these, the acting out summer camps, those are kind of like, just if you want to you want to pay for a summer camp and do some extra ones, those are those acting out summer camps. The company camp is a mandatory one, and those are included in those monthly tuition and fees that you would start paying. We are doing it a little different this year because we are casting for the one act, and we want to get the kids starting on their memorization as soon as possible. We'll have one day of our acting company camp here in June, on June 24th. And then the rest of the company camp will be after they'll get their script on June 24th and their role. And then they will have some time to be able to memorize before they come back at the end of July and really dig in. And there will be blocking. They'll really, be able to get a great start right before school starts. So those are mandatory dates for acting company. And then classes start August 21st. We have a few intensives. Intensives are mandatory rehearsals, and those days are on a Saturday. And those are like if it's before a Shakespeare tour, they'll do an intensive to really have some extra time to really focus, separate from the hours they have during the week. Or if it's right before a one act, then they will have that time to be able to really spend a few extra hours in addition to their weekly hours to focus on that in preparation for the one act performance, or, whatever it might be. So those are a few mandatory. That's what that one act intensive means. And the Shakespeare one act plays, those are the dates for that. Obviously specifics and specific times and all of that will come as we get closer, but that gives you a time frame. There will be a masterclass performance at the end of February that will be some contemporary scene work. And then they will have, in March are those dates for shooting their monologues for the reels. And those are just they'll each be given just a short time frame within those times to come and spend one-on-one time with Jake, and usually Adam is the one filming them for us. who works for COPA as well. And then we have the improv performance and the showing of the reels at the end in May. And then there's some optional stuff. They have an American on Stage competition, and I believe they might be adding some acting stuff to that this coming year. Excuse me. If you keep scrolling down, you'll see the COPA Acting Company Senior Tour. That is the, it won't exceed that cost, but that's how much tour goes. Typically with tours, the payments are spread over several months and added on, so that you don't have to pay it necessarily all at once. It would be like they'll charge you a certain amount. So it's kind of, I think it's usually like 3 months and you get charged a certain amount. We'll have more information on that for you as well, but that
Yeah, there will be a tour breakdown in the contract so you can see exactly which months and how much. Megan, do you want to share your screen so that as you're going through it, everybody can see
Oh,
it
sure.
on
I
a computer?
meant to do that.
Yeah, no worries. That way, just, you know, if somebody's joining on their phone or something, they can see it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yes, let me pull that up for you guys. Where is it? Here we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, so that's, you know, that's the dates, that's the estimated dates. Well, we know that that is the date, but we'll have more specifics for that Shakespeare competition tour. And that only impacts the older senior acting company kids. It's possible we'll have some more COPA youth theater productions options. That more information will be coming on that. Here at the bottom of this, you'll see that there are, there's a link to the auditions. Auditions are coming up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from, today's Monday, right? 2 weeks from today. Does that seem right? No, 1 week from today. I'm getting my dates mixed up. Yes, 1 week from today is our
AF.
our auditions for American Fork, which is May 15th. And then Thursday, May 18th are our auditions in Draper. Julie, do you want to talk a little bit about auditions and just kind of what you want kids to be prepared for that?
Yeah, we found last year we had people prepare monologues, but it was so much more fun to get them into the scripts. We had some scripts also prepared, and so we feel like it's really fun. We'll have just cold reads. So if you aren't familiar with that, that just means that they're learning it as they read it. So we'll have scripts available for them. They'll come. We'll give them a partner. We'll give them time to read it. We'll talk over the script. We'll talk over what kind of the language is, what they're saying, kind of explain the Shakespeare a little bit. And then we'll give them a chance to come in pairs. They may play 2 different parts and kind of switch back and forth. Really, we just want them to like be excited, be energetic about being there, and be willing to kind of like take direction. We might say, can you try it a little more like this or try it a little more like that? And, you know, we just want to see their flexibility and that kind of stuff. Yeah, Jake, do you have anything to add? No. There's nothing to add.
Sorry, I
doing
was
it
trying to
together,
unmute
so-
it.
Yeah, no, we're going to be doing it together. So really auditions, especially at this young of age, it's really just a time for us to get to know them too. And we want them to get excited about the process and be excited about, you know, Shakespeare. No one should feel nervous. We want them to come and like feel engaged. We'll do a warm up with everybody. Everyone will like have some time just to get their body loose and be ready. Have them, normally we might have them dress up a little bit for auditions. They can feel free to just wear more casual clothes to this one, because we may be doing some movement things and stuff like that. So they don't need to come dressed to, you know, like you might dress a little more professionally for a different audition. But for this one, we really want them to just feel comfortable. So wearing clothes that help them feel comfortable so that we can do movement, get them excited, I think is kind of the case.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think the biggest thing to know is, yeah, they don't have to have anything specific prepared. Just come and Jake and Julie will work with them, give them some different things to look at. There's Jake and Julie and Scylla as well. I don't know if Scylla's on here quite yet. She might be joining us in a minute, but they're all so great at making the kids comfortable and kind of being able to pull out like their strengths. What can they, show and showcase, and they do a great job with that. So it will be kind of a fun, just opportunity to kind of play around, mess around a little bit and try some stuff out.
Megan, can I interrupt for a second?
Yeah, of course.
Also, I would just say, if you're a parent that's looking at this as a possibility for your student, or if you're a student who's wanting to learn about it, just come and audition and see how the cards fall, and then you can decide. So it never hurts to audition. The audition is a great learning experience anyway. And so I would just say plan to join us, and then you can kind of see.
Yeah, thanks, Medea. That is such a great point. It's always great to have options. And so if you come and just try things out, then you'll decide, does this feel right to me? And then you'll know. And so it is. Audition experiences are always good learning experiences. No matter what you decide, it's great. Use it as a fun workshop and enjoy that. Okay, so if you are like, oh, I wonder, what this is really like, or you're wondering kind of like, I wonder what these reels are going to be like, or do you think if my child will like this? Come this Thursday night. Comedy Sports in Provo is our American Fork acting company final performance for the year. The junior acting company starts at 6, and the senior acting company starts at 7:15. And it just is such a fun performance. It really is. And it will give you a kind of a sense and feel for what it would be like, what the experience might be like, especially in this last section. So come.
And it's totally free.
Yes, and it's free, which is
put up like 200 people in there, totally free. Just come and have fun.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Jake, for reminding me of that. It's just come, enjoy yourself. Okay. So Mindy, were you going to talk about the Alta credit?
Yeah, I just put the link in the chat. We don't need to spend a long time on this, but years ago, COPA partnered with a private school that actually kind of, we got connected with Katie Higbee and their friends, and she reached out and they looked into COPA curricula and our students and teachers, and felt like they could offer high school credit for the classes. So my daughter specifically has been doing it for a number of years. Katie Higbee, our MDT Academy director's daughters, have also used this option, and it has been really great for our family. So basically, Katie, I don't know if you're available to answer this, but I think it's like $250 a credit per year.
I don't know, because we also do like regular classes through them now.
Yeah.
We love it so much that we started doing like math and history, which is a different price. So
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. They're kind of muddled in my brain, but they do give a discount for the COPA people. So
Yeah, there's a discount. COPA doesn't benefit in any way outside of just providing the benefit to our students. So what it looks like for my daughter, for example, is she's decided to do her core classes at her local high school. And it's great because she's chosen to go with more difficult classes and really push herself. So she actually has 5 periods per week, and the other 3 that she would normally be enrolled in, like performing art or elective, she can get credit from COPA. So for acting, you can get all the performing art credit for your high school. It's usually like 1.5 credit hours. And then there's something like, don't quote me on this, 11 elective credits. So they can all come from acting. And you can do, basically at the end of the year, in fact, just giving this little portion of the meeting, I text my daughter and said, you've got to write your papers for Alta. So she basically has attended, we give her the grade, and she writes a 2 to 3 page paper on her experience. Every 120 hours is a full credit. So you can do a half credit, 60 hours, and they could write the paper, for instance, like she did acting company last year, and she could write it on her experience in, what was the play that they did?
Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing. Yeah. She had a great experience. So she could write her 2 to 3 pages specifically on Shakespeare, the role she played, the challenges she faced. And she could do that super fast. And then she gets a grade, and it transfers to your local high school. And it's a nationally accredited private school. And so it's recognized, the credit and the grade are recognized everywhere. So if that's something that is of benefit to you and your family, it's something that's kind of worth knowing about, that might be helpful. And if not, there's, no pressure.
Can I just add one thing?
Yes.
Some schools aren't familiar with Alta Independent, so you might get some pushback from like your counselor. But the fact is, it is an accredited school and they cannot turn down credit from it. So keep pushing back. Like, don't let them say, oh no, that doesn't work here, because it does. It works at every school in the state of Utah.
Awesome.
And we have a lot that go to Lone Peak. They know it well, and we haven't run into any issues, but Katie's right that can happen. I mean, schools, and I get it. It's important. Schools want students as much as they can get them. So, but sometimes your student is overwhelmed and overbooked, or maybe faces some anxiety and could, benefit from being home more, and it might be a blessing to your family. So to each their own. If it works for you, awesome. If not, no worries.
Yeah, that's great. It's just great to have options, I think, and to be able to use when you're spending a lot of time in different places, to be able to get credit and different things. So that's great. Just so you know, after auditions, there will be a post casting parent meeting. Right now that's scheduled for June. Let me make sure I have it here. June 6th at 8 p.m. And you'll be, after casting is done and auditions, you'll be sent that information as well. But just know that we'll have some more. So you can ask more specific questions before contracts are signed and stuff like that as well. I did see in the chat that there was a question, and this is for Jake and Julie. This is a good one. And this would probably affect Scylla as well. But Jessica said, my daughter has a school performance at night. So if kids have conflicts and need to come a little bit earlier, like during junior acting companies audition time versus senior acting company audition time, what are your thoughts on that? Can we be flexible with that?
For the audition days?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, if they definitely could come either way and like audition with the other set of kids. What time are our auditions? Do you know? For sure.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Trying to remember. I've got a couple different shows going on right now, so I'm trying to keep them all straight and where I'm at.
So the American Fork audition is next Monday. Junior acting company, 6th through 8th grade, will start at 4:30 p.m. and senior acting company, 9th through 12th grade, will start at 5:30 p.m. And then for Draper on then that next Thursday, the 18th of May, it's a little bit later because it's also MDT auditions in Draper that night too. So junior acting companies at 7:00 and senior acting companies at 8:30.
I think another really good option to do would be also to come to the Draper auditions. I'm going to be at the Draper and the AF ones. And so I think we could cross pollinate, and I would be able to possibly just videotape the kid and then show, whichever director needed it. So I would just encourage them to show up. I will have my eyes on both of those auditions. So
Yeah,
And
that's a great.
and last year there was a few people who couldn't come to
Sent
auditions at all, but sent us videos,
yeah,
which
for
is
sure.
just fine.
Yeah, and that I think that's great. Just let us know. We're so happy to work with anyone with, because it is a crazy time of year. There's lots going on. So just let us know. We are flexible, and I like to think we're pretty easy to work with. So okay, any other questions that we have? Feel free to unmute yourself and ask away.
How soon do you know if you made the company?
Pretty quickly, within a week or two. We try to let you know pretty quickly, so that you have some time. We will send a casting email that has a lot of the kind of what we've already talked about here, but dates and information, and then you can you can accept or decline depending on what you would like to do. And then we would send out a contract that would have everything detailed out. And then we'll also have a post audition parent meeting. So it gives you some time to look through all the details, all the financial aspects, and just make sure that it works for you. But we do try to have it all kind of wrapped up here by the end of May, beginning of June is kind of when, with contracts and everything like that. So you do know pretty soon.
Okay, thank you.
I see Tamsin's question. I can help answer it. Your daughter's 5th grade. Scylla's recommending she audition for JAC, and it starts in 6th grade. I would say because Scylla's recommending it, then she feels like your student is probably ready for the next level. It's never a guarantee because it depends on how many kids of what grade come. But if she's saying she recommends to come, I would absolutely come. Occasionally we can fudge the grades one way or another, dependent upon the ages of the kids that audition. So that's awesome. I think that's a great sign. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, that's great.
You're welcome.
Yeah, anyone else? Any other questions? Don't be shy. You can always reach out to us too, via email. If your kids are in acting classes right now, you should have my email. I've just sent, stuff today, or I'll also put my email here in the chat. So if you have stuff that comes up, feel free to send us messages. I can, if it's not a question specifically for me, I can direct it to whoever it needs to go to. But yeah, so happy to answer any questions that might come up.
Before we close, and it doesn't seem like there's any more questions. I just wanted to say really quickly, spread the word for us. If you had kids and you're returning, I see some names of parents that I know who had kids in the acting program this year, and it's so good to see you in the parent meeting. Tell your neighbors and tell your friends. Those of you that are new, bring a friend to the audition. It's good for carpools. It's good for neighbors. It's good for the company. It's a new company. This will be, correct me if I'm wrong, is this like officially year 3?
Yes.
We're 3.
Yeah.
This will be 3.
Which is amazing. And it is growing and wonderful. And we need to get the word out. So help us out by telling your
I
friends.
also think it's been great. I've heard of a lot of the current kids, like, I'm telling my friend they need to come. And like, I also just think it's so fun it helps with rides. It helps with a little bit more buy-in. It helps the kids just with like unity and feeling really good. And like, it's such a fun thing. We love building the community anyway. Like we really build up the company mentality. We're a company. We're making these company shows, and like, we want them to feel like they're a part of like a team. And so it's great. Like asking your neighbors or friends that like have kids that they might just be interested in being with. Like we were trying to get our one son, and the only way he could do it is like, can Jonas come do it? If his best friend would do it, we're like, yeah, you both can come do it. So it's kind of nice sometimes that it just, it gives them like somebody to be with and feel really good about, and where there's room for everyone. So it's great.
For
So-
sure. And I just want to say too, like I had two of my kids in the program this last year, and I watched them both improve in their acting ability, which is awesome. But far more importantly to me, I watched them improve in their confidence, especially my 13-year-old daughter, who was quite shy and quiet. And she did her monologue in March that she'd been coaching. I had never seen it. I never helped her at home. She came to the solo showcase and did her monologue you guys had worked on. And literally my jaw was on the floor. It was a completely different, confident actor on the stage in just a short, like 8-month period of time. So, I mean, I will say this over and over again, talent development, just developing your talents in whatever your kids are interested in, whether it's acting or songwriting or soccer or basketball or ballet or musical theater, just developing talents, period, builds confidence. And confident children make better decisions. They make better friends. They are more likely to stay out of trouble. They might date better people. They'll audition better. They'll interview better. And it's lifelong. Like, even if my kids never do, my oldest daughter isn't going to pursue musical theater or acting. And we call her Queen COPA because she's been doing COPA since she was 3. So she's the longest running student. And Delane, my friend, was like, that's so sad. I can't believe like you built this whole program and your own daughter isn't going to pursue performing arts. But there's not like a second of like an ounce of sadness. There's not a second I've been sad about it, because the confidence and the talent development that she has gained over the years and the people that she worked with, the Jakes and Julies and Megans and Katie Higbees and Susie Balsers and Nathan Balsers, like, couldn't ask for a better community and better examples and better experience. So if this is something that your kid likes to do or even thinks they like to do it. Like, try it. Give a year and dabble. Or if it's something they love, keep doing it. It's, you can never build enough confidence. Well, I guess you can. That might be like egotistical people. I don't know. I don't think you can ever continue, stop working on building confidence. So anyway, Megan, you can close this up, but I just wanted to share a couple of those thoughts.
There you go. I love it. And I just couldn't agree more. That's part of what I just love. I love seeing kids come into their own and are comfortable with themselves. And it's really beautiful. So there was one final question. The senior company for auditions will be doing Hamlet. That's what the material that they'll pull for the auditions. Junior company will be Midsummer Night's Dream. So if your kids want to familiarize themselves with those plays before they come, they are welcome to, but they don't have to be before they come to. Jake and Julie will work with them as well. And so just know that's for auditions, that is what we'll kind of be doing. But thank you for being here. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you do have other questions come up. I hope to see as many as we can at our acting company performance on Thursday at Comedy Sports. Otherwise, too, if you have kids here in acting and group voice classes, all of those performances are Friday and Saturday as well. And I can't wait to see those kids as well. So thank you and have a wonderful evening on this beautiful May night. And let us know if there's anything we can do for you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. See ya.